Surprise, I'm not live. I am filming this on Sunday, November 2nd. My granddaughter was born at 1:30 this morning. It has been a crazy night. We had to take some stuff up there about 2:30 for them, take breakfast to them about 8. So I am running on about 3 hours of sleep. But I don't know what next week is going to be like. I don't want to cancel my class Thursday night. So in order to be free to help them in whatever way they need on Tuesday, I decided to pre-record this, and then I'll post it so that you will see it in the event on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So I apologize for not being live, but here we go. So this is the October Paper Pumpkin. And if you're not familiar with Paper Pumpkin, it comes in a box every month, and you get whatever you need to create, usually cards. Sometimes there will be some gift packaging, but for the most part, it's cards. This time we get to create 9 lovely Christmas cards. And the only thing you might want to have is a pair of scissors. Everything else is provided for you, although there is one tool I always use, and that's my Take Your Pick tool. I use that for a lot of the adhesives they include. So, also, if you are on my team and you get Paper Pumpkin, or you are a customer of mine and you get Paper Pumpkin from me, then I include a bonus card. So I send that to you, or if you're coming to class, I give it to you there. And that's just a kit to make an additional card with your Paper Pumpkin stamp set. So I will show you that at the end. But let's do the cards that came with the kit. This is the first one. Merry Christmas. And I will tell you, I don't agree with the adhesive instructions on this one. And I'll show you what I mean. I did this one the way they said, and then I did the other one the way I thought it should be done. And I'll explain that as we do it. Okay, let's get started. Our only stamping on this one, actually on any of them, I think, is the sentiment. Let me grab my Stampin' Pierce map. And I think you have an extra one of these if you mess up, but especially on the Stampin' Pierce mat, that helps me see exactly where to stamp this. Although on camera, it will be a challenge. This is Pecan Pie. In your kit, you will have a Pecan Pie spot. But I always just use my full ones. Hey, that's pretty good. All right, let me put that away so I don't mess it up. All right, I'm going to leave this. Sometimes I think it helps you see. So we have this little star, and in the instructions, it will show you. So we have tear and tape, we have glue dots, and we have dimensionals. And this is where I don't agree on the tree. So let me explain. Let's do this first. I'm going to move this star. I lost my last star and finally found it on the floor. I knew it was here somewhere, so I didn't worry. All right, so we've got some tear and tape. There it is. So we're just going to put 3 strips of this on the back. Maybe. We got to go up. This morning we took them breakfast. They were hungry. So we took them breakfast about, I don't know, he called me about 7:30. So we took it up there about 8:30. And I forgot where I was going with this. But we got to see her, and I got to hold her, and she is just precious. And then my daughter-in-law, and well, both of them have shared pictures. So they have 2 sons, 4.5 and 2.5, roughly. And they shared some pictures of them all together, and it's just precious. I can't wait to see them actually all together. All right, so you can either use the spatula end or the pointy end. I'm going to use the spatula end because that's the one I have, and that's what I use for my glue dots. But that just helps get the end of this up. And I kind of burnished it beforehand so that adhesive would stick to the paper, and I could lift that paper, the backing off. All right, this is just going to go in the middle. I don't know why I checked to see which way it was opening because it doesn't really matter on this part. It will on the next part. All right, here's where I don't agree. Let me show you. So you have these tree pieces, and they're going to go like this. So on top of each other. So they have you putting dimensionals under the part that's going to overlap and glue dots under that part. And that didn't make any sense to me. Now that's what this one is. And I guess it does lift it up from there and makes it kind of go down. Though I did, this made more sense to me, but we'll look and see. I did the dimensionals on the part that's not overlapping and glue dots on the part that overlaps. So I guess their way does give you some more dimension, although I think I would put a glue dot on the top of that one instead of having it go down like that. So maybe they're right. They're probably right. So we'll do it their way. We'll see. All right, we got all our pieces here. This little star. I don't know which way he goes. Like that, I think. I don't know. All right, let's get our dimensionals. The other thing I will warn you about is you will run out of little ones. So I would use more big ones than little ones. If you do it the way they tell you, let me make sure this first one, yeah, see this is one big one and two little ones. And then this one is one big one and two little ones. Wait, hang on, let's look at it. This was two big ones and three little ones. And one big one and two little ones. And you don't have enough small ones to do that. So use your big ones more than you do the little ones. Okay, so they tell us, where are my directions? To put dimensionals on the bottoms of all of our tree pieces. So let's do that. It does give it some lift. So this is our, I don't have them laid out like they do. I usually do that, but this is our middle one. So we're going to have one in each corner and two kind of in the middle. The little one we have just at the bottom. See, I'm not really sure what these glue dots, I guess they just stick to the card. Excuse me. And then our big one gets 3 across the bottom. And our sentiment gets 1 over here on the left side once you've turned it over. And our star gets 1 in the middle. And it just fits. All right, and then glue dots. Here they are. This is what I like to have my spatula end for. So 1 glue dot there. 2 here. And 3 on the big one. All right, and then this guy gets a little bit of the tear and tape. There it is. I was like, where did it go? So just a small piece of tear and tape. There. All right. That is all our adhesive. So let's start putting it together. So we're going to start with our big piece. And these are as bad as dimensional backings they get everywhere. All right, and this is pretty low on the card. Looks like about like that. So you want to kind of center it. All right, and then next is this medium piece, middle piece. And that is going to go. And you want to try and make sure that your sides are lining up. Okay. Then our top piece, well, let's get this off first. And make sure your sides look like they're lining up. And then our star. You can see a little bit of it there. It's going to go right on top there. And then our sentiment. Goes right across here. Whoops, gotta be sure you don't go off the edge of the card. So that dimensional should, you almost need double because you've got double there, kind of. All right, then we need, and I'm going to use all big ones. So we'll use some sequins. So we'll put a couple over here. Now, if you plan this out, you might be able to use some little ones on this one, but by the time I got through the others, I was like, oh, I'm not going to have enough little ones. All right, there is card number 1. I love those sequins too. Okay. Somewhere, there it is. Somewhere I have another envelope. All right, card number 2 is this one. So this is where you want to be sure you have 2 small ones, I think. Does it not have more than that? Let me see. Or maybe those are big ones. Did I not put, where are all my other ones? Maybe I quit putting them. Oh, here's the one I did all of them on. I must have not put as many on that one just because I knew I was running out. So you want small ones here. So that's why I made sure I saved some small ones. Okay. Y'all are going to tell me, don't ever do a video when you're working on 3 hours of sleep again. But I don't know when they're coming home. I don't know what else they might need. So, all right. Our only stamping, I don't want to lose my letters, is on the bottom of this. So you're going to stamp "To the World" on the bottom of this die cut. And try and make it straight. There we go. Not too bad. Okay. Now we're ready for all our adhesive again. So we have our letters. Oh, let's do this guy just to get it out of the way. So again, tear and tape on it, just like we did the last one. Oop, let go. Come on. Let's go ahead and put that on our card. Just get it out of the way. It goes in the middle here. And the tear and tape, once it's down, so if it's crooked, it's just going to have to stay crooked. All right, now let's get all of our pieces. Oh, I see one has a... I noticed that there was one that had... yeah, so this one's got a little bit different leaves, but I didn't notice this one has a bigger hump on it. All right, so our letters, our joy die cut, and our leaf die cuts. All right, so this guy is going to get glue dots kind of at the corners. That's how we're going to attach our leaves to it. So in there, and then he gets dimensionals. So he gets one in the middle, 3 around this, and 1 on that. Okay, that's him. These guys get a dimensional on each end. Whoops. So basically, on the leaves, you're done. And then these, you use little tiny strips of tear and tape. And because it's such a strong adhesive, this will hold them just fine. Even smaller on the O. And if you do get over the edge, like that one maybe over the edge a little bit, once you peel the backing off, you can just fold over the sticky part and it will be just fine. Yeah, that one's definitely going to be over the edge. And then on the Y, a little piece down here. And then a little piece on that part. Now you do need to be careful. This is very thin right here. So when you're taking this off or doing anything with it, just be mindful of that. All right, let's bring this guy back in. And let's put our letters on it. So tear off the back of or peel off the back of your tear and tape. Be kind of careful so you don't tear up your letters. You do not have extras of these. So that goes right in here. And then the O. Let me see if I can show you what I was talking about. Okay. So you can see that corner right there is sticking out, and then over here there's some. Just fold them back on itself on the back, and you will be just fine. All right, and this kind of slants a little bit. Just follow that opening. There we go. All right, then our Y. This one is being persnickety, but I don't have much to hold on to, so there we go. Okay, I got a little bit extra there at the top, a little bit at the bottom. There we go. All right. Now, next thing is we're going to put our leaves on our joy. So just peel off the backs to your glue dots, not your dimensionals yet. And then you kind of have to look because they are a little bit different. So this one that has 4 distinct leaves goes on the bottom. And then the other one just has 3. So this is going to go, and so you want it to be on that glue dot. Kind of like that. Whoops, that's not enough. Okay, so it needs to go more. If you don't press too hard, then you can move it a little bit if you need to. That looks like about right, so I'm going to press that down. And then this is going to go on this glue dot. And so I'm just kind of looking at how it looks because I don't want to see the ends of that. So I want that to tuck behind. That looks pretty good. So now hopefully that was all in screen for you. Sorry. So I just wanted to be sure that those tucked behind, that tucked behind, that you didn't see the ends sticking out. Now you can turn it over. Now that's just one point. So when I was doing this, they swiveled a little bit. So just be mindful when you're putting this on the card. Now you can check off all your dimensional backs. And then this whole thing, I'm going to try not to hold on by the leaves, is going to go in the middle of this. So you want to try and make your To the World pretty straight. That's not bad. All right, and then this guy, you definitely want 2 small ones in the middle of your flowers. And then they have a couple here. Come on. And then one down here. All right, there we go. There is the second card. Okay. Last card from the kit is this one. Pretty ornament. All right. Let's get our pieces. As near as I could tell, the card base goes up like this. So those are fanning up. As near as I could tell from the photos, that's what it looked like to me. So that's the way I did it. All right, let's get our stamping. This is Deck the Halls. There it is. So we'll just stamp this in the middle, and you do have an extra one of these. So if you mess up, you've got one more chance. And you can always replace it with just a piece of white, basic white cardstock. Okay. Let's do our adhesives. So we have this again is going to get tear and tape. 3 pieces of tear and tape. And then while we've got this out, this little guy gets tear and tape in the middle. So just a little strip in the middle of this ornament. Thankfully, they're not expecting us to put anything on those really narrow, thin parts of it. All right, I think we're done with the tear and tape now. Now we need our glue dots. So this guy gets a glue dot on each of these little pieces. This is how we're going to attach it to the background of the ornament. Oops, come back here. All right, he's done. Let's not put him right on top of our directions. Okay, our Deck the Halls gets a glue dot. Once you turn it over on the left, I think that's all the glue dots. And then a dimensional, and I think I put it a little bit up just because the corner of it is sticking out off of the ornament. All right, then this guy, he goes this way, yeah. He gets 5 dimensionals. Okay, and then we have this little guy. And I think, so he's going to fit over the top of this once you get the other piece on. So I think I did a little glue dot at the, oops, sorry, I just bumped you, at the bottom of that to try and help it hold on to the ornament. And then your dimensionals, they have them down here, but I'm going to put them out on the ends of those because this one is going to overlap a little bit. See, they have it there, but that's going to overlap a little bit, I think, with your ornament top. So I'm going to put them just on the leaves. I think that's what I did on my second one. Okay, let's get all our pieces ready to go. And I think, well, I don't think I did great on either one of them. I'm going to just make sure it looks like it's, I don't think it matters which way it goes. Yep, that looks good. But just in case, try it before you take your adhesive backs off. So the first time I tried picking this one up and laying it over on top of this, and especially after you put those dimensional backs on there, it was a little challenging. So we're going to see. The second one I tried this way, and I think I did a little bit better. The problem is once it grabs. There we go. That looks good. So then when you turn it over, you shouldn't see any gap in between. All right. Let's get this on our card base. There we go. It goes right in the middle. All right, and then I'm going to take the backing off of this glue dot. And it doesn't like, I mean, it sticks, but it's such a small. So I'm trying to get that on there. There we go. So that it looks pretty straight. And my dimensional, see, if you had a dimensional down there, that would have been tough. All right. Now let's take all our dimensional backs off. I probably should have watched the video for this one. I didn't do that. Stampin' Up! Puts out a video. I'll try and remember to link it here on the event. All right, and they have this going all the way to the top Now see, it looks crooked. To the top of the card, like that. And then our sentiment. Goes here. I have it down a little bit. And then our sequins. So since I have two small ones left, I will use one of those. And I'll use another big one down here. And they evidently, oh, they pushed it over. I didn't even notice that. They put their ornament over to the right, so it's hanging off the right. All right, sorry about that. Put your ornament over off the side of this white background. I didn't see that. Oh, well, it's fine. Nobody is going to know, except for you that got this kit. Okay, so let's look at everything we made from the kit. And you can't see it, but these are fuzzy. Yeah, I mean, you when you have the kit, obviously you can feel it, but they're fuzzy. All right, so that's the kit. Let's do the bonus project that I came up with. This is what I came up with. This is just a tag from, oh, I forgot. It's been unavailable, and I forgot to check and see if it's available again now. But I just cut a bunch of them apart, and so you're not all going to have a tree. There will be other ones that you'll get. So our stamping, let's get, our stamping is, this is Deck the Halls. Let's get our, I've got my foam mat, but I want to put a scratch paper on top of it because our joy is going to be stamped off the edge. All right, let's do our Deck the Halls. So just stamp that in the middle. And then this guy, this is another one of the stamps. We didn't use this in any of the cards that they had us make, but it's part of the stamp set. And so I like to use just words like this as a background. So you're just kind of making a little background with that. Okay. That is all of our stamping. And I did emboss, this is Real Red. I embossed that with the plaid one. I've forgotten the name of it now. But I like to use my liquid glue when I'm doing something with embossed cardstock. That goes in the middle of this. This is a thick basic white card base. Anytime you're making a card base with white, you want to use the thick, because our regular basic white is thinner than our cardstock, than our colored cardstock, and so it's not as good a base for our cards. All right. So you have two pieces of ribbon. They're the same size, so you don't have to worry about which one is which. Take one and wrap it around. And you can use seal, tape, tear and tape. You can use some of your tear and tape left over from your kit. Whatever you want. Just get it adhered to the back. And then it can go on your card. Again, it's going on an embossed piece. And I put it to the left and up a little bit. Just hold it for a second. Now I like to put this on before I tie my other piece of ribbon. So I'm going to use, I happen to have dimensionals left over. One in each corner. I would not put one in the middle just because it's going to go over the ribbon. And then this guy, I'm going to put one when you turn it over on the right side. And then because I have my liquid glue here, I'll just put a little liquid glue right there. You don't need much. There we go. That's really not much. All right, let's put this on first. And it's going to hang off like that. And then this is going to hang off up here, which is why I put just a little liquid glue right there just to hold it to that. And now, once you have that, maybe I should have put it up a little bit, but this will be fine. Then you can tie your other piece of ribbon around. And you can try and twist it. Sometimes it's hard to. It does have a shiny side and a not shiny side. So you can try and twist it so that both the shiny sides show. There we go. Let's trim it. And then if you do have some sequins left over, you might have some big ones. You could add those. You could add anything else that you wanted. But there is your bonus card. So everything that we made today, we'll take one last look at it. So those are all the cards from the class, plus our bonus card. So there you go. There is our paper pumpkin for October. All right, and if you're coming to class Thursday, I'll just give you your kit then. If not, I'll get it in the mail this week. I'm not making many promises right now until I kind of know what's going on. And unfortunately, I have several appointments scheduled this week that I'd scheduled long before. I thought she was going to be here 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it's just the way it worked out, and we'll make it through. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see about Thursday afternoon if I get to do a Facebook Live. Did I just say that? But I am planning on doing the class Thursday night. My son has 4 weeks of paternity leave, so he'll be home all day, and my husband can go over there in the evening if they need help Thursday. So I will see you Thursday night. I don't know about Thursday afternoon. All right. We will see you later. Bye.